Have you ever felt that end of quarter crunch? You know, that mad scramble to lock in a good client satisfaction score? Well, if that sounds familiar, this explainer is for you. We're about to walk through a really simple but incredibly powerful playbook that turns all that chaos into a calm, predictable process.
First things first, let's talk about the problem we're all trying to solve. It's that last-minute panic to get a good CSAT score. It's reactive, it's stressful, and honestly, it burns out your team and doesn't really serve the client in the long run.
I mean, does this picture look familiar to you? Every single quarter, it's the same old story. The engagement lead is on the phone, trying to smooth things over, the PMO is buried in spreadsheets until midnight, and the technical lead? They're completely blindsided by feedback that really should have come up weeks ago. It's a total cycle of panic.
So, the big question is, why? Why does this keep happening? Well, the answer is actually shockingly simple, and it's the core idea of everything we're about to talk about. It happens because of a breakdown in ownership. No one was consistently holding up their part of the deal.
And that brings us to our solution, a simple but powerful idea called the three-legged stool. Think of this as a model for building a super stable foundation for client success, all based on clear roles and, most importantly, shared responsibility.
So just picture your client sitting right on top of this stool. Their success, their stability, it's all balanced on three absolutely critical legs. Each leg is one of your key roles: the engagement lead, the PMO, and the technical lead. When all three are strong and working together, that client is rock solid. But look what happens if even one of those legs gives out. It's not just a little wobble, it's a complete catastrophe. If the engagement lead leg breaks, boom, client trust is shattered. If the PMO leg buckles, the entire process just falls apart. And if the technical lead's leg snaps, the whole solution fails. It's a total collapse. To really get how these roles need to work together, let's look at them from a couple of different points of view. From an organizational standpoint, think of the engagement lead as the CEO, the big boss. The PMO is the COO, the one who actually gets stuff done. And the tech lead is the CTO, making sure it's all done right. Or even better, let's take it into a kitchen. You've got the head chef, the face of the operation. You've got the kitchen manager, keeping all the clocks running. And you have the sous chef, ensuring every plate is perfect. Three totally different jobs, but one single mission: make the guest happy. Okay, so now let's take that kitchen idea and really run with it. We're going to turn this whole process into a performance. Because let's be real, you're not just managing a project, you're putting on a show that needs to earn a 5-star review every single quarter. I want you to frame it exactly like this in your mind. You are on a live cooking show. Every quarter is a new season. You have 10 VIP guests, your clients, and they are going to score you publicly. The pressure's on. And you realize pretty quickly, this isn't just about one person's cooking skills. This is a teamwork problem. So let's get into the playbook for your show. Every successful season or quarter is broken down into 5 distinct phases. We're gonna call them episodes. And if you follow this script, you are setting yourself up for that rave review. And here they are. It starts with episode 1, scout the guests. Then we move to episode 2, build the menu. After that, the crucial episode 3, the taste test. Then the main event, episode 4, the grand dinner. And we wrap it all up with episode 5, read the reviews. See how each one builds right on top of the last? All right, so your season kicks off way before the main course is even a thought. This first phase, from about week 12 down to week 9, is all about prep. You have to be like a master chef. Your first job is to study the guest list, because you just can't impress someone you don't really know. And here's where you see the whole kitchen team spring into action right from the get-go. The PMO, our kitchen manager, gets the CSAT tracker going. That's our guest seating chart. The engagement lead, our head chef, personally confirms who the VIPs are and flags any potential issues. And the tech lead, our sous chef, is already flagging any delivery risks that could ruin the meal before we even start cooking. Next up is the longest and, you could argue, the most important phase of the whole season. From week 9 all the way down to week 2, this is where you build the story. A great client experience isn't about some big reveal at the end. It's about the steady, consistent value you deliver and document all along the way. So what's the secret here? It's the relentless documentation of wins. The PMO is logging 2 or 3 wins every single week, and they're always framed the same way. Here was the problem, here was our action, and here was the client outcome. The tech lead's job is to translate complex technical stuff into plain English that shows business value. And the engagement lead makes sure the client sees these highlights week in and week out. You're creating this constant, steady drumbeat of success. Okay, now we're between weeks 4 and 2, and it's time for the taste test. This is your final quality check before the big night. It's that critical moment where you find and fix any little problems while they're still in the kitchen. Because, let's be honest, finding a problem in the kitchen is recoverable. Finding it at the client's table, that's a disaster. So during this health check, the engagement lead asks 3 very specific, non-negotiable questions. The first one is a gut check on alignment. On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that we are focused on the right priorities? And by the way, anything less than a 7 is a major red flag that you have to jump on immediately. The second question goes a little deeper, and it's all about what's relevant right now. Are we working on what matters most to you right now? You know, priorities can change on a dime, and this question makes sure that your team's hard work is actually going where it will have the biggest impact from the client's perspective, today. And this third question, oh, it's pure gold. What is one thing we should do differently next quarter to better support you? It's brilliant because it's forward-looking, it actively invites helpful feedback, and it shows the client you're a true partner who's committed to getting better and better. It changes the whole conversation. And that brings us to week 1, showtime. It's the grand dinner. The official CSAT survey goes out. This is the moment of truth. And its success is completely 100% dependent on the hard work and discipline you put in during those previous 10 weeks. You absolutely cannot take shortcuts. And look how beautifully coordinated this final step is. The PMO gets a season highlight card ready with the top 3 wins. Then the engagement lead doesn't just blast out a generic link. No way. They send a personal email that reminds the client of the value you've delivered all quarter long. It's a personal, high-touch moment. But listen, the show is not over just because the plates are cleared. The final episode, reading the reviews, is honestly where the real learning happens. This is about taking that feedback and using it to get ready for an even better next season. This is all about closing the loop. The PMO tracks the responses and creates a simple 1-page summary. The tech lead pores over the technical comments looking for patterns. But the most important part, the engagement lead owns the follow-up conversation for every single score, good or bad. It makes the client feel completely heard and valued. So, when you boil it all down, what does it really take to be a great showrunner? To nail this process quarter after quarter? Well, I can tell you it's not about having the fanciest title or being the most senior person on the team. It actually comes down to 3 incredibly simple behaviors that anyone can master. Number 1, consistency. You have to run all 5 episodes every quarter, no exceptions. Number 2, note-taking. You've got to capture those wins and feedback points every week before they just disappear from memory. And number 3, follow-up. Close the loop every time with clients and your internal team. That's how you build trust that's absolutely unbreakable. And if there's just one thing you remember from all of this, let it be this. At the end of the day, the stool doesn't care who built which leg. The client has no idea about your internal roles. They only know one thing. Did they feel stable or did they fall? And our job as one unified team is to make sure they never, ever fall.